As many would be more than happy to tell you, Netflix has plenty of hit shows and movies for you to go and enjoy no matter what the subject matter is. Action, drama, suspense, mystery, kids shows, teen dramas. But one show that had everyone talking, because it was a mix of many of those things, was that of The Queen's Gambit, a show about a young woman and her ability to play chess and how her life choices affected it and who she wanted to be. It was meant as a limited series, but will it stay that way? Allow us to show you Queen's Gambit Season 2 facts you need to know.
You made it.
Yeah, hi. You wouldn't happen to have any aspirin?
Number 7. Queen's Gambit Season 1 Recap. Since it may have been a while since you watched The Queen's Gambit, let's look into everything that happened in the first season so that if a second one is made, you're going to know what happened. The show was set in 1967, and it revolves around a young girl, Beth Harmon, who lost her mother in a car accident when she was 9 years old. Due to her mother's demise, she had been taken to an orphanage where she learned chess from Mr. Schabel, custodian of the building. She becomes brilliant in chess because of the drug given to her during her time in the orphanage. Later, she was adopted by a couple, Alston Wheatley and Alma Wheatley. As she was adjusting to her new life, she indulged in chess tournaments and, surprisingly, won at it. Season 1 ended on a satisfactory note where Mr. Schabel challenged her, and she defeated him in 30 moves. The show was well praised and even set records of sorts on Netflix based on views, the positive word of mouth, and more. Even the author of the book that this was based off of was floored by how it was shown. Not to mention, Anya Taylor-Joy, who played Beth Harmon, was nominated for various acting awards for her performance in the show. Pretty impressive, right? So that begs the question.
I'm Beth.
Harmon, Kentucky State Champion. Nice to meet you.
Number 6. Will we get Queen's Gambit Season 2? The Queen's Gambit is what Netflix categorizes as a miniseries, which means it won't be ongoing and that there is only going to be a limited number of episodes. Netflix has not announced any plans for a second season, and the show is based on a book by author Walter Tevis, so there would need to be more material in order to create more episodes. In an interview with Town & Country, star Anya Taylor-Joy said she adores her character and would certainly come back if was asked to do so, but I do think we leave Beth in a good place. When she spoke with Decider about the ending of the series, the Queen's Gambit lead doubled down that she's happy with where the show ends. Now, speaking of her character's final scenes, Taylor-Joy said, "That moment for me, man, I can't tell you how connected I was to this character. At the end of every one of those takes, I would just start crying. I was so happy for her." She added, "I think it's the first time that she's able to go, you know what? I deserve to enjoy this. Leave me alone for a second. I have worked my whole life for this moment with no spoilers. I need a second. Let me live," in 2020 language. So, yeah, I think that's her victory lap. Now, most would see this as its own kind of confirmation that the lead actress isn't interested in coming back due to the quality that she was able to do in the limited run of episodes. A very fair thing to say. Now, looking at this from another perspective, though, you could see why she and the show's creators don't want to push their luck given what they have and don't have to work with.
Fairfield High? Margaret. Right, hi.
Number 5. Source material. Doing shows and movies off of books and such is very popular in Hollywood, has been for decades. The only question is how you choose to adapt the show or film and how close you get to the material everything was born from. You could do what The Queen's Gambit did and do a full-on adaptation that goes point for point with the book. You can do what The Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter did, with mostly sticking to the books but adapting certain things and scenes so that they fit into the allotted screen time. Readers of both series know what we mean and what was left out. And then there's the most dangerous option, where you take the source material and use it up to a point, but then basically write your own extra stories and ending, which many fans already know. A great example of this is Game of Thrones. The showrunners for the Game of Thrones series on HBO went from having all the source material in the world to not having any. Author George R.R. Martin had years to go and try to finish the books before the shows caught up to him, but he didn't. As such, Season 7 and 8 were very much based on a loose outline given to the showrunners by Martin and then sprinkled in with their own story ideas and notions and characters and such. The backlash that followed was incredibly severe and for the most part completely understandable because, while there were great battles and character moments in those seasons, there were also some very questionable choices and scenes that just didn't work at all, including a very rushed series finale. Which brings us back to Queen's Gambit for a very simple reason. The first season followed the book from start to finish, so any second season would have to be completely written from scratch and yet try to maintain the feel of the first season. That's a big ask. Could they pull it off? Sure, in theory, but the questions that would arise is how they would want to proceed. Would the tone and setting feel true to what came before? And of course, the quality of the episodes as a whole.
I told you to leave me alone! Jesus.
Number 4. The potential Season 2 story. So let's just say there is a second season. What would it be about? Season 1 ended where Beth defeated the world champion of chess, thus earning the world champion title in all her glory. Moreover, we saw how she overcame her addiction to drugs and became sober. Therefore, it's speculated that her drug issues might resurface in Season 2 due to the pressure of winning and maintaining the title. Now, this could play out in several ways, such as maybe getting a defeat from an unexpected opponent and wondering if she was only good because of the drugs. What's more, now that she's the champ, she'll have a bullseye on her back that'll bring forth many new characters potentially that could challenge her in a myriad of ways. Her actress even recently posed her own idea that Beth could be much older in Season 2 and have to deal with motherhood as well as chess. But to be clear, that was just her notion on things.
Harmon. Lisa Harmon.
Number 3. Life beyond chess. For Beth, everything in her life after a certain point was about winning at chess, which of course led to her beating the champ of the game. But now that she is the champ, there's a new question. What's next? Is there something more for her now? Perhaps Season 2, with all of its challenges and missions for Beth to overcome, might give her a new purpose in life, and thus end the show with her moving on from chess and making a new life for herself, including the potential motherhood that her actress teased.
What do you want, child? You should be in the chapel.
What's that game called?
Number 2. Epic chess matches. One of the things that absolutely made Queen's Gambit a joy to watch was that the chess matches in the show were made and portrayed in a way to be extra impactful and fun to watch. They hired actual chess masters to go and help the cast learn how to play and make truly dramatic matches between Beth and the other characters. Thus, if Season 2 arrives, so will the return of the chess matches. But you honestly shouldn't expect a return.
I just didn't have the faintest idea that people made money playing chess.
There's tournaments with much bigger prizes than that.
Number 1. The end. It's been made pretty clear by the team behind the show that they aren't seeking out a second season. Now, according to the executive producer William Orberg, the ending was so satisfying, as he stated, the last scene feels like a beautiful note to end the show on, so I'm not sure if we want to go on and answer that question. His statement indicated that he also has no intention of resuming the show for a second time. The showrunner later joined in on this and said that there are no plans for Queen's Gambit Season 2, and Anya Taylor-Joy is off doing other projects, including apparently being Princess Peach in an upcoming animated Mario movie. So for now, the team is scattered, but they did admit that they would love to come back together to work on a different project. So what do you think of this look at the Queen's Gambit and how the show more than likely isn't going to get a second season despite the big hit it was on Netflix? Does it sadden you that the series won't continue, or do you think it's fine that they did the story they wanted and then moved on? Do you think Netflix will ever be able to replicate what this show did? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you next time right here on the channel.